Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension, guys. Come on into my continued Algerian journey, cosmic grid update as I am sitting here in the peaceful Algerian home that I'm staying in. They were so kind to prepare a gentle background for my video. And also they brought me some tea. Some green tea in this tiny little cup, as this is how they like to prepare the tea here in these like tiny little cups, these tiny little tea sets with tiny little spoons. And it's really cute the way they prepare tea here. So actually I got to go shopping yesterday in like the market area, and I actually picked myself up a cute little tea set to take back home with me, because you guys know when I'm traveling, I like to, all of the cultural things that basically I find humbling or, sweet, or just they bring some sense of comfort or sense of peace or enjoyment to me. I like to kind of like, if I can, extract those things into my own personal world, take them back home with me. I like to get all kinds of decorations. I am one of those touristy types that will buy the things from the sites that I go to. All of that stuff is going on, you guys. So besides that, I want you guys to stay tuned for this energy update, this cosmic grid update, because we are going to be talking about so much in this video today as I get distracted. And essentially, we're going to be talking about the Temple of Minerva. So I didn't realize when I was coming here that I was going to be uncovering massive amount of Roman history. That was actually the last thing that was on my mind coming here, you guys, was like, oh, I'm going to, be delving into Roman archaeology sites and Roman history. But there's so much of it here that you have to embrace it, because that's really what I think left the biggest imprint on this side of Algeria, Tabessa, which is on the, I believe this is the east side, close bordering Tunisia. And so Tunisia to the north and Algeria to the east essentially was really capitalized by the Romans, during the time. We're going to go over all of that. But I have some video clips of visiting the Temple of Minerva that I think you guys will really like. And there's just so much information on all of this. And this is all going to apply very much so to the grid work. So this is going to be talking about the underground tunnels, the grottos, the catacombs, which are all leading to the city of Carthage. So I've been to about 4 Roman archaeological sites since I've been here. I'm going to try to prepare in-depth video as much as I can for each one. You guys got to see a little bit at the wall of Caracalla the other day. This video at the end, I'm going to show you the Temple of Minerva, and then I'm also preparing another video where we're going to be looking at Timgad, which, if any of you guys know anything about Timgad, this place is amazing. Amazing. So you want to stay tuned for all of this, you guys. I just want to say assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. And I'm so excited that you are here to dive in and discuss all of this with me, particularly because, everything that's coming forward in terms of what I'm experiencing and picking up on in terms of the grids here, it's also going to apply to the mission work that we're doing here in North Africa. Because we are going to be working energetically with our grid worker group to be restoring the original Earth spiritual body template as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Put a big like on this video today. Your continued love and support of my channel means so much. Thank you so much, and cosmic blessings, family. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Evie and also Christy Potter for your Algerian donations to fund my continued research here, travels, and video content. This is so much appreciated. I just want to say thank you so much. All of that funding is going towards the art piece that I'm doing for the Tin Hinan video that I'm going to be preparing. So I cannot wait. That's going to be like the highlight of the entire trip, you guys. And if you've seen some of my goddess art pieces in the past that I've done, I did Ashera in Egypt. I did one in Machu Picchu, and I also did Medusa, right? You can't forget the Medusa video that I did. If you haven't seen the Medusa video that I did, you better go and check it out. You better go watch it because it's pretty epic. I'll leave my artistic pieces in links down in the description for you guys so you can check them out. But basically, I start shopping for dresses. I start shopping to because you know how I like to portray the goddess through imagery and channel the inspired words that are often expressed as a devotional. And so I actually wanted you guys to help me with an opinion on the dresses. So I'm going to show you each one really quickly, one by one. I kind of want to get a poll to see which dress you think is going to embody the goddess of Tin Hinan the best. We will be doing shots in the Tesseract National Park and also at Tin Hinan's gravesite, and probably at a Roman archaeological site called Les Basilica, because it's a huge site where like there's nobody like even there, and it's going to be so epic, you guys. So this is the first dress I'm going to show you. This one is so far my favorite. So let me screen share this one. Okay, so this one, it's a black embroidered dress that has arm pieces that are kind of going on the shoulders. You can see there's some other color dresses close to it. I just wasn't called to the colorful dresses. I'm kind of called to the black. So this is dress number 1. If you guys like this one for the Tin Hinan video, drop it down in the comments. And then let me go ahead and show you dress potential number 2. So there's actually a guy in this picture. He was one of the guys selling in the dress store. But essentially, so here we go with this one. Now, this dress I really thought had kind of like an authentic Berber vibe to it, and had like an original, like indigenous tribal quality. And I was thinking that, you know, and I really like the shoulder piece that's going around her as well. So this is dress number 2. If you guys like this one, go ahead and drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you think this dress would be good for the Tin Hinan video. Or let's look at potentials of number 3. Okay, so this dress, in any 4 of these could work. These are more of just like drapery type elegant dresses that you can wear, and there is embroidered pieces over each one. So there's a black one over here, and then a white one, and another black one, and another black one with the embroidery pieces over the shoulders. These could potentially work as well. So I'm having a hard time deciding what is going to embody this goddess so much. But you know, so yeah, drop down in the comments dresses 1, 2, or 3. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm going to be heading back to the shops here in a few days to try to get the right fit for the essence of this video. And I just wanted to get your guys' opinion. I thought it would be fun to keep you guys included. Especially because all of the donations you guys have been sending, there's been, you know, a few that have come in from about five of you, and it's just been, oh my gosh, thank you so much for, you know, allowing me to put this together and portray this goddess and bring this information forward. It's really, I feel honored, and I feel super humbled to have this opportunity. And also currently I have some new Algerian wear as well. This is like a little zip over long dress jacket that I got here in Algeria as well, with this like authentic embroidery, which kind of looks like a fleur-de-lis on it. I just realized that. But everything here is like beautifully made. A lot of things are handmade. A lot of things are embroidered with like beautiful jewels and beads. And I mean, even this necklace piece that I got here, everything is just so gorgeous. I'm just having a lot of fun here because all of the women here wear dresses, underneath their hijabs and covering their bodies and things like that. They have a lot of really pretty, different style of dresses that you can find shopping. So I've been kind of, taking advantage of trying to bring in some of the culture and also get to embody it through wearing it. It's a lot of fun for me. Okay, guys, now, so let's get into the cosmic grid update part of this. And let me take another little sip of my tea. It's almost gone. Okay, and let's go to my scribbles maps because we got some stuff to get into regarding the grids. Okay, guys, so you've seen this map before. I've showed this in some of my previous updates. And essentially, it's the map that I've charted for my Algeria trip. There are a few things here that I want to discuss in terms of relevance and importance, and some pictures that I want to show you regarding some of the stuff that I spoke about in my last interview on the Typical Skeptic podcast. So you can go back and watch some of that interview if you want. I kind of briefly recapped some of the things we're going to deep dive more today, and those things that we're going to actually talk about to prepare for the remote group grid worker session that we're going to be doing this week. So I hope that you guys are feeling called to come and work with me. All of my grid worker crew, everybody who's come and worked with me in the past, you are re-invited. I'd love to have you. So many of you are so gifted with your skills, your intuition, your empathic abilities, and you just bring so much to me in fulfilling my grid worker experience as well. So I love you guys so much. Please join me on November 15th. I will be hosting it from Algeria. So I'll be able to transmit these North African codes as much as I possibly can, you guys. We can dive into the archaeological sites and clear out these zones. So links will be down in the description for the remote grid worker session to come. And a lot of you have signed up on my Patreon, so that's really good. I think we've had 3 people sign up on patreon.com/IndigoAngel. You can sign up there, or if you don't want to become a member to my platform on Patreon, you can just sign up under my services tab and just join for this specific session. But we are going to be anchoring in all of the North African land code energies. We're going to be clearing out all of the colonization trauma that's here, because let me tell you guys, it is thick. It is thick. And the Roman narcissists were responsible for a lot of that. Let's just put it that way. The French is responsible for a lot of it, and others as well. So we're going to get into a lot of that. But we're also going to be clearing out the spike in the black cube matrix that's running into Israel, that's running into Saudi Arabia. I've talked about the black cube spike matrix, and I'm just going to recap it briefly with you guys again today, so you know what is it that we're clearing when we do this grid work, right? I'm going to re-show you guys. And then we're going to be also clearing the war energy, the antagonistic energy in the battles over the waters and the waterways, the canals, because there's something going on there with that when it comes to the current World War III problematic zone area of the planet. And so we're going to talk about that Suez Canal today in this update. And then another thing we're going to be doing in that remote session is we're going to be clearing out the mitochondria of the mother of us all. Okay, so we're going to be working within the cells of our remote session together to clear the African Eve energy, the blockages between the mitochondrial mother, to restore the collective growth genes, because I've been reading a lot about the mother cells recently, and I've been learning so much how we're all still connected to the original Eve, the original African Eve, the original mitochondrial mother. We all still carry energy and cells to her. And so when these are being blocked and these are being suppressed and oppressed, basically the growth genes in the body turn off. And so this is another reason why so many people are disconnected, fragmented, separated, in lack and separation, depression, anxiety, all these things, because their growth genes are turned off because they are not clear within the mother cells. So we're going to be working within that, within the land, to restore the mother of us all, the original cells to this. So this is just where I'm being guided in terms of inspiration. I hope that this calls to your soul, because I would love to have you. We're going to have a big group. Tomorrow, I actually may be doing a live with Noko. We'll kind of get into talking about some of this. But yeah, back to the map here. One reason that we need to focus on Saudi Arabia is because of the underlying reasons for the wars, which are detrimentally grid related. So we have the map up here, but let's go ahead and just look at the picture that I've been posting on Facebook. And yeah, just by the way, you guys, I did catch some Algerian La Cucaracha. There was a little cold or sniffle that was kind of seemed to be running through when we got here, and I did actually pick that up. So I can't find my picture here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Facebook because I did post this on my Facebook page. And be sure to go to my IndigoAngel Facebook page and follow me here as well, guys, because I've been posting a lot of pictures of my journey, and you can definitely check it all out here. But let's scroll down to this picture here. This is what's going to be really important. Let's see if we can blow it up. Okay, can make it a little bit bigger. Okay. This is what I want to talk about with you guys. So I received a video from a gal who sent in via email. And I just want to say thank you to you, dear sister, for sending me this video, keeping me informed, because, hey, I do get some of my information this way sometimes. You guys see videos that I put out and you guys hook me up and send me more good, amazing stuff and keep me up on what's going on. So if you guys have content you want to share with me, you can always send that to info@indigoangel222.com. And that stuff always gets forwarded over to me. But essentially, I received a video speaking on why America, France, and the United Kingdom have such an investment in this World War III agenda. And it's, of course, to do with money, right? But not what we think, okay? We think it's over just war over the land grabs, just contention between religious groups, Anunnaki bloodlines, all these things, but there's other agendas that are involved, okay? And a lot of times we think and assume it's over oil, but it turns, the transportation of oil, essentially, turns out that it may have a lot to do about the Suez Canal. So essentially, the Suez Canal, as you guys see on the left side of this picture here, is owned by Egypt, okay? And Egypt makes about $9 billion a year. And Egypt is gaining all of these profits from having this water passageway to transport goods and oil, without having to go around, right? Like they can just cut right through. So I don't think that America and France and the UK are benefiting financially from this. So they want their cut, basically, so to speak. And so this is why they have a lot of financial investment with Israel. So this is called the Ben Gurion Canal Project, or the Israel Canal, as you guys can see with this second arrow here, which is what they want to dig up and out. And the Israel Canal Project would connect the Gulf of Aqaba to the Mediterranean Sea. David Ben Gurion, for whom it would be named, is considered the founding father of Israel and was the first prime minister of Israel. The canal would rival the Suez Canal that runs through Egypt, which has had many disturbances in its history trying to get this thing built, right? So this is kind of where a lot of the drama is coming from, and a lot of the fight and the outside interest is coming from. It's where the financial interest is coming in, where they can meddle in as outsider countries to come in to try to benefit off of the transportation of oil, goods, and also the finances. Yeah, guys, ultimately, if they're successful with this canal, that means to completely eliminate Gaza, because where this, canal project is said to deposit into the Mediterranean would be right at the northern border of Gaza. And so that leads me to kind of talk a little bit about where Algerians are coming from, because clearly I'm staying with a traditional Islamic family. And so we've gotten into some political discussions, and they've basically kind of let me know where they stand. And so they've expressed to me a lot, because they've been on the oppressed side a lot. They've explained to me. So they see it as, any resistant group that's rising up against a government or a bigger government. They will call them the T word, right? I don't want to use the word because it could be censored here on YouTube, but the T word, TERRORIST, okay? This is what they label groups that are fighting back against transgressors. This is what they label groups that are fighting back against oppressors. And so this is kind of the overall public opinion here in Algeria. And what they've shared with me is that they don't really watch the news here, and they're looking at it through the lens of their own oppression with France. And so they realize here that the case with the Palestinians is about 75 years old, and they've expressed that the Jews actually came to Israel under a Palestinian passport. So they really stand for Palestine here. And as I think a lot of people in America do too, as well. I think that a lot of people are seeing through the corruption. A lot of people are seeing through the lies of big Willy Wonka. And so I think a lot of people are rising up to support Palestinian freedom. I think Algerians overall just are coming from the oppression that it took them 130 years to completely get out of the stronghold of France. And so, they're speaking from their ancestors. They're speaking from the past of having to fight 130 years for the freedom of their own country. And so they see the Palestinians in the same situation as them. And so, they really, really support Palestine here. And I think that's kind of the case all along the North African region. I mean, all the people over here in this area, I think, are similarly collectively having the same feeling. And essentially, it's one of the reasons that I think we also need to include into the group work as well for the remote session is to clear the negative contentions around these things, clear the negative enemy antagonistic codes, clear the Anunnaki contracts and bloodline warfare codes that I've spoken about in some of my previous updates, and also clear again that dark spike matrix that's running in Israel, because right now, you guys, at this time, we're getting a lot of Atlantean activations. I mean, it's all about Atlantis right now. It's almost like the gates to Lemuria have shifted, and we are very much riding within Atlantean currents at this time. And this is coming up more because more is being revealed. More of the veil is thinning thanks to all of this bifurcation and all of the turning of the planetary tide, the equinox, the eclipse, all of the things that have happened. So more darkness is coming to light. And what we collectively have to work through to transmute all of this Atlantean karmic residue. So let me share this black cube tesseract matrix spike. I've shared this in other videos before. I'm going to just play this really quickly here so you can see when I say a spike is running through Israel. You see these lines, these spikes that are coming out of the black cube tesseract. Okay, so they're all pointing to these particular regions. This one here going towards Saudi Arabia. These spikes are coming from the inner earth and are accessing those inner gate sites to push the mentality, the collective mental bodies of the Black Cube Matrix. So this pushes the core architecture for the Atlantean timeline events to run in the earth, okay, which reactivates a lot of the core world trauma and wounding. It reactivates all of the Holocaust, war, genocide, Nephilim, fallen angels, fall of man, first invasions, Luciferian takeovers, planetary crucifixion, planetary hijacking, invader technology. This is really what we're clearing when we're doing this remote session work. So you can check this out on my blog, on my website, IndigoAngel222.com, if you want to learn more about this inner earth beast machine mechanics that we're working to clear so much when we do this grid work. But let me go back to my map here. So another one of the main things that I wanted to highlight is the location of Tin Hinan's grave. So this is where I'm going to be going, you guys. And let's tune in here to a place called Tamanrasset. Let me just make sure this is Tamanrasset. Yes. So we'll be flying all the way down here into the Sahara. So you can see how big Algeria is. Literally takes up the center of North Africa. It's like the heart of North Africa. We're going to be flying all the way down to this place called Tamanrasset here. This is where Tin Hinan's grave is located. I believe somehow that her location of her grave may be correlated to the real road to Atlantis. So they're saying that there is this sacred ancient road to Atlantis that was the road that it's like the resurrection road that pulled everyone out of the fall. Okay, and so we're going to talk about this road. So I'm going to share another picture with you guys. So you're looking at this picture here of the island of Atlantis, the Atlas Sea, the Atlas Mountains, and then you have the Tamanrasset mega river that is kind of spanning along the outline of the island of Atlantis, and then also the Rishat structure, which is Mauritania, which is considered to be the, one of, if not the primary location where the fall occurred. Okay, and so now, a lot of this stuff, you guys, is kind of passed down through traditions and through folklore here. So you have to actually speak to more of like the native bloodlines, the Amazigh bloodlines, the Berber bloodlines, okay, because they have these traditions of these spoken lores that are handed down. This isn't copyrighted in literature somewhere, but they have the story of Tin Hinan, who escaped Atlantis at the time of the fall, and then she traveled on a particular road, which I think may have followed this Tamanrasset mega river. Okay, and what happened was she followed this road and she led to rebuilding of civilization post the fall, post basically where they cut off all the angel wings and the angelic bodies and stripped everybody of this higher gnosis. And honestly, what I'm coming to see with this more and more now, even as I connect to the traditional Islamic culture, is in Islam, they do not believe that any angels are actually fallen. So this is a biblical distortion in Christianity and even Judaism more so, that there are fallen angels, like the stories of the Nephilim. In Islam, that's not true at all. No angels are actually fallen. And so it's kind of interesting. It's almost like the fall of man is one big implant. It's one big veil. It's one big crucifixion wound to continue to make people believe that they are fallen themselves, and also to keep people in fear campaigns of connecting with certain angels as well, which I think is a really deep topic we should get into in another video. And I think we should discuss this a little bit more because this is a really interesting thing. But essentially, Tin Hinan traveled on this particular road that led to the rebuilding of civilization post the fall of Atlantis. So yeah, I want to say thank you so much to Satu Home for sending me these pictures in an email. But what you're seeing here again is this Tamanrasset mega river. So let's say the fall took place in Mauritania. essentially Tin Hinan would have left Mauritania. She would have traveled down the Tamanrasset mega river, and following this tipping point of the mega river down is where her gravesite is actually located. So I'm going to show you guys another picture of her grave. Okay, so let's say that fall did take place in Mauritania. There is a lot of geographical evidence in the land of some form of a possible geological planetary upheaval, leaving deteriorated land discs, leaving deteriorated tectonic plates, with the discs being disheveled into the Atlantic Ocean. I did kind of recap that as much as I possibly could on the video that I did with Marguerite. Also, in a couple previous Atlantean updates that I put out, I can show you guys again today on this update if you'd like me to, but even if you just zoomed into Google Maps or something like this, you can see all of that tectonic plate dishevelment, basically deteriorated disc. You can see it simply just on Google Maps. So if you just kind of tuned in over the eye of Mauritania, you can see this, that this could potentially be evidence of this here. Now we follow that Tamanrasset mega river system to the tipping point, and then we're going to find Tin Hinan's grave. So this is a picture of Tin Hinan's grave. This is out of the Berber book that I have, so I'll leave this down in the description if you guys want to check out this Berber book that I have. It's completely awesome. So much information about the original Amazigh and the Berbers and these ancient indigenous tribes that are representation of the original Atlantean bloodlines. But in this picture here, you can see the skeletal remains of the queen, of the goddess Tin Hinan. She was from a noble blood. She established herself at a place called Alabesa. And this is kind of like where she reestablished civilization after the fall. She had 2 daughters, potentially 3 daughters. This hasn't been really truly confirmed. She rode on white camels. She had many slaves. She had a personal servant named Takama, and they say she was also very unusually tall, with probably having had passed away sometime in her 40s. And her remains were found with lots of gold and silver bracelets. And so again, this is a very important tomb gravesite because there's really not a lot of these very many ancient goddesses existing on the planet, and hers was, you know, preserved. Hers was held in secrecy for years and years and years to be found, right? So this is kind of a big deal. One thing that's also a big deal about this is, of course, the Berbers and Tin Hinan herself of antiquity. She had strong pagan beliefs. They had strong pagan beliefs at this time. This was before everything was converted to Islam. But essentially, they were called the cult of the dead. And they practiced strong tomb worshiping philosophy. They called it dreaming in tombs. And this is where, you know, you would go to these tombs to send your prayers. You would go to the tombs to make oaths and to have those oaths be basically initiated, acknowledged by source and spirit, and passed on to loved ones and ancestors. And then also there would be a lot of future foreseen that could be granted at the tomb sites as well. And I do feel like this is probably where the ancient Egyptians got a lot of their tomb wisdom from, was passed on Berber culture to the ancient Egyptians. So this is where we're going to be traveling, guys. So when I'm asking you guys to help me pick out that dress, I mean, we're going to be portraying the story of Tin Hinan. And so we're going to be bringing all of this magic into the total art piece of this. Again, your donations have helped me so much, you guys. Thank you for making this possible. Again, if you're feeling inspired to donate, you can make that at my PayPal at paypal.me/IndigoAngel222. Links will be down in the description. So yeah, this is kind of to go into some of that. Now, I would like to include some clips from the Temple of Minerva, but really quickly, guys, let me just bring you back to my map, as I just want to zoom into that part of Mauritania where the fall of Atlantis could have taken place. And so let me just tune in here a little bit. to the Eye of Mauritania. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see how there is this slant that's coming down the continental shelf that's running what looks like old water passageways, as this is the Eye of Mauritania right here in the center of this, indented area. That's the Eye of Mauritania. So this is potentially where the original Atlantis was. And then you would have had the river of Tamanrasset that would be going into Algeria here, which is in Tamanrasset, where Tin Hinan's gravesite is located. So according to that diagram we just looked at, that could have been potentially the real original road to Atlantis, riding along the Tamanrasset mega river system to the location of Tin Hinan's grave, following all of the folklore of what potentially happened in this time. And again, I think what's happening as we clear more of this karmic residue from Atlantis, a lot of the water systems are coming back for us to remember and to realize their presence and their existence within the land codes as well, because we have a lot of remembering of Lake Traitanis coming back online and this Tamanrasset mega river system as well. So a lot's starting to reveal itself more and more, you guys. We're getting more pieces, more clues, more introspection into this timeline for us to heal those waters of Atlantis, because that's what it's all about, clearing the emotional trauma body to Atlantis so we can restore ourselves from this timeline. So now we're going to include some clips from the Temple of Minerva. And again, guys, I didn't realize when I came to Algeria how much powerful Roman archaeological evidence was going to be here, but it really seems to be such an extensive part of the history here in Tebessa and the borders of Tunisia that the Romans have afflicted on this region about 100 years after Christ. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling up some video clips here of the Temple of Minerva, as this was one of the main archaeological sites here in Tebessa. Again, I did the Arch of Caracalla, the Temple of Minerva, Les Basilica, and also Timgad as well. This all began with the ancient city of Carthage. Carthage essentially was the capital city of ancient Tunisia on the eastern side of the Lake of Tunis, which is now still Tunisia. So Carthage was one of the most important trading hubs of the ancient Mediterranean and one of the most affluent cities of the classical world. And all of the Romans wanted to rebuild here after the destruction of Carthage. They all wanted to rebuild in Tunisia. They all wanted to rebuild in Algeria. And so essentially, all of this happened after Carthage was founded. It was founded under the legendary Queen Elizabeth. And then it went through after that, after it was established and became a very powerful ancient city of antiquity. Essentially, it went through a 3-year siege of Roman invasions. Of course, the Romans, again, the narcissists, the invaders, the colonists, they came in, they didn't want Carthage to be successful. And so they attacked it. Once they took down Carthage, they built the north and the east side of Tunisia and Algeria, and essentially they wanted to build here to hold strategic position against their enemies. They felt at the time this was essential for all of the global ruling of Rome. And in terms of the gridwork, guys, and why this is important is because this holds significance because it is said to be running a living Roman grid network. That's where all of the catacombs, that's where all of the underground passageways come in, is because these underground tunnel systems were installed specifically from the gate of Caracalla to the Temple of Minerva.
Hey guys, so I am standing out front of the Temple of Minerva in Tebessa, Algeria, which lies within the wall of, it's like a Byzantine wall that they built in the Roman era when the Romans came into Tebessa, basically after the destruction of Carthage. And they came to build a lot of architecture here, which was strategic in order to try to colonize basically North Africa. And they built this temple of the goddess Minerva, which, as you guys know, Minerva is the Roman attribute of Athena in Greek mythology. So it's really like a cool temple that's here. It used to actually serve many different things through many different eras. So once the Romans left, it actually became a church, and then it became like a municipality at one point as well. But basically they've preserved it here in Tebessa as a sacred archaeological site. So let's go inside and see kind of what they have in here. Which kind of brings me to the point of what this temple serves basically in the community and why it's actually still standing in an Islamic community. And as we spoke to one of the guides coming in, he was letting us know that it kind of serves the merging of worlds or the blending of worlds and the peace that's held between pagan beliefs, pagan philosophy, and then current modern day times of religion, as they have mosques very close and also churches very close, and then also this pagan temple. So they're kind of exemplifying how they keep the peace between different beliefs here, which is, I think, a very good thing for us all to remember that when we have a lot of wars going on at this time, and we have stuff going on in the Middle East between Israel and Gaza and all this crazy stuff, right? Like, this is a symbolism of how different beliefs can, you know, live together in peace and harmony. And so
connecting the church, connecting Les Basilica and Timgad all the way to Carthage, there's underground tunnels. So this is still a living Roman network. You can actually still access these catacombs and tunnels. We were actually offered to go access them, but that we might have to, you know, schedule a new session with the tour guide to go look at them, because we missed it because we were doing way too much. But all of this it still exists and it's still accessible today. So I think in terms of the grid work as well, we can clear these passageways more extensively, clear more of the strongholds of these lands from invasion, from narcissist mindsets, from intruder energy, from antagonistic enemy war codes. Okay, and I think this is greatly going to afflict and help heal that contention also in the Israel and Gaza war that's going on right now. So all of this because they actually, and you know why they built here so extensively, again, it's because they were actually trying to prevent Carthage from reinventing itself. All of this being under the control and the rule of Caesar and Augustus at this time. And I also wanted to mention, guys, so I do have some more openings while I'm on the road. If you would like to connect with me here in Algeria, I've been having good internet. All of my sessions have been coming through really well. So if you've been wanting to get in with me, if you've been wanting to book with me, I have some openings next week on the 14th. And then I also have a couple openings on the following week on the 26th and the 27th of November as well. So yeah, guys, I'm still open for bookings while I'm traveling. I'd love to transmit these codes with you guys. If you've been needing to get in for that J seal removal, that Draco seal removal, or if you'd like to book the diamond package, which essentially is my best package, you get a free 1 hour time with me in that package, whether you want to use it for a consultation or you want to use it to go over your Starseed origin reading and all of your Akashic records. But you just let me know. I'll leave all of the links down in the description, and I'd love to work with you guys. So thank you so much for staying tuned, and I'll be back with a video about Timgad. You guys are not going to want to miss this place. It is so epic. It's so insane. It is definitely the largest Roman archaeological site, I think, on the planet, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So namaste. I'll see you on the next update.